Hi there, Year 6. Welcome to day 2 of Introduction to Shakespeare. So today is Tuesday, the 23rd of June 2020, and our learning intention is for you to gain awareness of the historical context in which Shakespeare was writing. So please can you write the date and the LI, and you may pause the video while you do so. So the first thing I would like you to do is watch the BBC video clip that I've put in as a link in the PowerPoint. I've pasted the link here and I've sent it in your daily email as well. And it's going to give you a brief history of Shakespeare and what it was like living during Tudor times. And it's done in quite a child-friendly way, so it will be easy for you to understand it. If you use the PowerPoint, please use the PowerPoint that I have emailed you. Obviously, the link won't work if you try and click it on this video. So pause the video here and go and watch that video for me, please. It's about 7 minutes long. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video and got a little bit of information about Shakespeare and what life was like. Now we need to go and delve a little bit further into the religious and historical context where Shakespeare was. So obviously we know Shakespeare lived in Tudor times, and he was part of, or he lived during a time when the king and the church were very much together, and the church had a lot of power in those times as well. And there was a group of people called the Puritans who were really against the idea of theatre and shows. They were very religious, and I'm just going to go through a little bit of information about them, and I want you to then see, I will show you the viewpoint they had on acting and plays. So who were the Puritans? Well, most people were happy with Elizabeth's religious settlement. So Elizabeth is the queen, who was queen at the time. Puritans were not happy as they believed it should go further in its reforms and make a truly radical Puritan church. So they wanted their pure, what they think is a pure, completely devoted Christian church to be the main religion of the UK. They believed that Elizabeth had sacrificed too much to the Roman Catholics when creating the settlement, so that they thought that Elizabeth was kind of selling out a little bit and wasn't keeping true to what she was supposed to be doing. So the Puritans disapproved of many things in Elizabethan society, and one of the things they hated most was theatre. Their chief complaint was that secular entertainments distracted people from worshipping God, though they also felt that the theatre's increasing popularity symbolized the moral inequity of city life. So basically saying that they didn't agree with what the theatre stood for. It stood for entertainment, and they felt that it took people away from the church and from praying to God and living that Christian way of life. And they thought that living in a city meant that people were following this immoral message that was shown in these plays. So this is what the Puritan would say. The London Council, controlled by us, the Puritans, would not allow playhouses in central London, so they moved south of the Thames, where they belonged away from respectable people. Acting is not decent, it's basically lying, so you can't trust an actor. Also, women are banned from performing, as it isn't ladylike. We Puritans also hate how the theatre riles up the public. They sometimes cheer the death of noble people. How rude! Besides, the performances show all sorts of bad behaviour. It's bound to lead to copycat behaviour. Worst of all, the theatre brings together people and diseases are spread. The plague will corrupt these sinners who go to the playhouses. So as you can see, they're very strong in their view and very anti the theatre as well. Okay, so we're going to do, I want to give you a little bit more information, and then I'm going to explain what the task is going to be for today. So we've talked about the Puritans. Now I want to show you why people enjoyed going to the theatre. So we've had the negative view of theatre, now we're going to look at the positive. So Elizabethan audiences loved blood, gore and guts. Popular plays of the day were full of witches, wizards, ghosts, murders and battles, and the actor used lots of ingenious ways to create special effects. For example, to create the effect of someone being killed in battle, actors used bladders full of pig's blood, which burst when another actor pretended to stab them. Pretty gross. The sound of thunder was created by rolling a cannonball across the floor at the back of the stage or above the stage. Sometimes a trap door in the heavens was used to fly characters down to the stage looking as if they had appeared from the sky. If the audience was not impressed with the show, they could add their own special effects like boos and hisses and throw rotten fruit, vegetables, and eggs at the actor. So they really get involved. It was a very interactive type of theatre. In Elizabethan theatre, all the parts were played by men. Young men played the parts of women and girls, while older men may have had parts like witches, wizards, or hags. Women and girls were not allowed to act. Actors generally wore Elizabethan dress as costumes. They were very elaborate and sometimes very expensive. For example, costumes made of silk, satin, and velvet, and embroidered with gold and silver thread were often worn. If a play was set in historical times like Shakespeare's play Cymbeline, which was set in Roman times, actors may have worn Roman-style costumes so that audiences knew the actors were Roman. Okay, so lots and lots of effort is put into making these plays amazing, and the people who go there really, really enjoy it, and that's why it was such a popular form of entertainment. So this is what you are going to do. We are going to create a persuasive piece of writing where you are going to defend the theatre against the Puritans and his fellow writers. Okay? You will not be allowed to produce great plays. Okay, so basically, let me read that again. You must defend the theatre against the Puritans, or Shakespeare and his fellow writers will not be allowed to produce great plays. Write a short response to the Puritan argument that supports playhouses. So you're writing a persuasive response saying why you think the theatre should be saved. Okay, so these are some ideas that you could use. The theatre adds to the English language. The theatre can inspire goodness. The theatre allows people to consider social issues. The theatre can be educational. The theatre is a place to meet new people. Theatre is entertaining and fun. The theatre earns money for the economy. Okay, and on the other side, you've got some things that you can include. So anecdotes are where you actually describe people's experiences firsthand. Rhetorical questions, rule of three, a counter argument, which means that you're going against, so the Puritans will say, well, it will stop people from going to the church, and then you need to think of an argument that would oppose that. Emotive language, so explain how passionate you are about keeping the theatre going. Statistics, so maybe say 21,000 people have been visiting theatres every week. And expert opinion, you might have a playwright like Shakespeare saying how he feels. Okay, so lots of different ways that you can really make your writing persuasive. So please remember, the purpose of your persuasive response is to go against the Puritan idea. You need to make sure that the reader changes their mind after they read your response. You need to use the information that has been provided to build the basis of your argument. And remember to send in your work to the Year 6 email address. So please use the information that I've shown you on those few slides. You've seen what the Puritan argument is. You've seen the pros, the reasons why the theatre should stay open. So now use that and create your own persuasive writing. It doesn't have to be very long, but it needs to persuade me. If I was a Puritan, it needs to persuade me to think twice and say, yes, actually, the theatre is very, very good. Okay, I will see you tomorrow, and I will look forward to receiving this work. Enjoy!